A grandparent's right is getting to spoil their grandbabies, and of course it's all wrapped in love and affection. Unfortunately, it can also be expensive, and that can be tough for retired grandparents on a fixed income. So, my next guest today is here in this sponsored segment to help keep generosity from turning into overspending. Cory Sickles is president of Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors. Cory, always great to have your valuable advice.
Glad to be here, Crystal.
Thank you for being here. All right, so Cory, this week we're talking about something a lot of grandparents out there can relate to. Spending on grandkids. Is overspending a common thing?
It's very common.
Okay.
And I think you would probably even talk to, a lot of just parents in general.
Yes.
I think they probably would say that as well. But you know, the average spend, according to national surveys, about $4,000 per year that a grandparent spends on their grandchildren, and 10% of them are actually spending over $10,000 or more.
Ooh.
And it's more than just gifts. It could be meals, it could be travel, it could be paying for school. So there's a lot of things that could add up that people, I think grandparents really don't realize on how much they're truly spending.
Don't think about. They're thinking with their hearts.
That's correct.
Maybe not their budgets.
That's correct.
Okay, so what is the risk here? What does overspending do to a grandparent's financial future?
You know, I don't think a lot of people realize by giving, an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a year, what that really does for their overall financial plan. Because really the thing could be the big issue is, you still have to, you're still in retirement, right? You still have health care costs. You might have an emergency, you might need an emergency fund. So, or you could be in a position later on in life where you can outlive your money. So I think a lot of people are unaware of that little extra money, what that actually means 5, 10, 20 years from now.
It adds up, doesn't it? Okay, so where should grandparents start if they want to be generous, but also smart at the same time?
Well, I travel a little bit. I'm going to use that oxygen mask rule, right? When the mask falls down, you want to make sure you're secure first, and then you can help others. So what I mean by that is make sure that you have enough income in retirement. Make sure you have your health care cost. Make sure that you have that emergency, make sure you have that emergency fund. Once you feel secure, then here's the tough part, is now you got to create a budget on which you really want to truly give to your grandkids on an annual basis.
And then you have to stick to it, right?
That's exactly right.
That's probably the tough part. Yep. Okay, what about the emotional side of this? A lot of grandparents feel that tug, they feel that pressure to give more than they should.
And I think that's common. I think that's naturally common for everybody. I mean, you might even feel that when when your children ask you for things, right?
Of course.
You don't want to be the bad guy.
Right.
The person that always says no, right?
Right.
But I think there's a good way that you can, give in other ways too, right? Whether maybe you're giving, it doesn't always have to be money.
Right, time.
Right? It could be time, it could be babysitting, it could be, teaching them things, right? Giving them moments, teachable moments that's going to be able to that they can use later on in life too, about budgeting, or maybe about the importance of, not everything's about money. It's about the time and being able to spend time with them, which is what grandparents really love anyway.
That is so true. That is so true. Okay, so are there smart financial tools that grandparents can use if they want to help without hurting their savings?
A couple things. I just talked about $4,000 and $10,000, but you can gift money. You can gift up to $18,000 per year if you want to, from just from a tax standpoint. But the other thing I think you can also do is, give them put money into a 529 plan. Maybe this Christmas you do something like that rather than give them a toy that they're probably going to only, play with for a couple times or a month.
And then outgrow.
Right.
And that 529 plan helps them for their higher education, doesn't it?
That's exactly right. That 529 plan is going to grow. They're going to be able to use that in college. Whether you're there or not, they'll be able to, think about you. Give them, maybe if they have a summer job, maybe match what they, maybe match what they earn to be able to maybe incent them. So there's
That's a good idea.
Or if they're working, maybe put money into a Roth account. There's other things that you can do rather than just giving them money that they're probably just going to spend on useless things anyway.
I have 2 kids. That is true. Useless things. That's okay. So, Cory, if someone's unsure whether they're giving too much or how to fit giving into their retirement plan, that is where you come in, isn't it? They can reach out to you for some help and guidance.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, when you do come in and meet with us, all meetings are complimentary. There's no financial obligation. Believe me, we work with a lot of grandparents. We put together financial plans. We help them put together a budget. And more importantly, you want to be able to make sure that your kids know on how much you can give to as well.
All right, Cory. The information for Cory Sickles is on the screen, safeharboroh.com. As always, Cory, valuable advice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.